Hello again, Ian Stookie with Mastermind Games here, and last video has just finished processing and already starting on the next. This is a chapter Ancient from Warhammer 40,000, Space Marines faction of course, and War Paints Army Painter Ultramarine Blue. Might need a little more today, we'll see. Oh boy, I have buried myself in paint over here off camera. As you can see, he has this enormous banner he's carrying. Just wait till I start filling in the details on the front. This is huge. I don't even think the Primaris Ancient's banner is quite this large and impressive. While impressive it may be, though, it also has a ton of tiny little details. So much so I'd almost say it has excessive detail. But we'll get to that later. I don't know why the paint is pushing itself away from the model. That shouldn't be happening. Huh. Well, I'll get it figured out one way or another. It'll be fine. And avoiding his helmet because that's going to be done in white. Shoulders are fair game though. Am I in camera? Okay. Had to make sure I was in camera. I've already had one disaster today with these videos, that being the big spill during the waning takes of the last one I finished uploading for the chapter champion. And like the other models in this particular set, this one is chock full of Ultramarines iconography. But this particular standard, there's so much bric-a-brac on it, it almost seems too busy. But right now I'm just giving it a solid blue base coat. Don't worry about picking out the specific details later. And I am going to need a little more paint. And yeah, that model does have balance issues. Balance issues as in physical balance issues, not game abilities. It's just got grenades, both frag and crack, plus a power sword, and the standard ancient ability for the can't remember the name of the ability, that buff that lets Space Marines stay in play for one more attack when they're killed, but he might actually have more wounds than the Primaris Ancient. I think his point cost is higher at least. Ensure I get my nice solid coat on the first go around, because I don't know why the paint keeps fighting me on this. I don't know. Maybe it didn't get primed thoroughly. That sometimes does happen. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. That's got it. Let it dry. And that happened. Try again. Like I said, he's not balanced very well. Okay, let that dry. Move on in a bit. Alright. Where do I need to be? Deep red 09002. Just a tad more. Let's get my camera up a little more. And he's got plenty of purity seals on him. Now let's see. Don't see anything else there. Okay. Okay. And then, where's the one I want? This one. 09026 violet red, which is clogged up, so paper clip. Bit here. Might have to touch that up later. Getting the cape. All right. And leather white 09062. Keeping your brush moist but not overly wet. Since he is an ancient, his helmet's a little different than the norm. That's why I left it blank earlier. And I'll pick out these stars on the banner. Plenty of choices here. Plenty of ways I can do this. Just I'll go ahead and use this on the wings here as well. This banner, as I've said, should be a bit overcrowded. I'll do this, whatever this is he's standing on, it's hard to tell. There are so many details here. It's almost overcrowded. Alright. I think is good on that color. And then Tarnished Steel 09206. It's way more than I'm going to need. Get the blade on the power sword. And like I said, there's a ton of detail here. Get this pole here. And like I said, so much detail, there's almost too much detail. Well, there's one more I think I can do, actually. Do this little Ultramarine central right there, that tiny one in silver. And where is it? Cloudy Gray 09089. Get the rock he's standing on. Okay. And how about 09088 Stormy Gray? The elbow here for the thigh glove and this hose going from the foreleg to the knee. These cables in the armpit here. That's pretty good. I'll do these cables coming off coming up around to the chest. Okay. And then I think 09110 oiled leather. Like I've said many times in this video already, there is just a ton of detail here. Just a ton of it. Gonna get this book. Then, oh, decisions. I think I can go ahead and do 09143 Yellow Bone. parchment on the purity seals here. I need to get that Stormy gray because I missed the grenades back over here. It's got it. Okay, taking that Ivory again. Let's see here. Okay, I'll do some tire section here, I suppose. This is it's kind of funny down here. There's so many details I can barely comprehend everything I'm looking at here. So I'll definitely be picking some of these out in other colors as I go along. The back of this parchment here. Come around and do the front. Just tons and tons of detail at the binding here, the pages of the book. Probably a copy of the Codex Astartes. Again, keeping my brush moist but not overly wet. And let's see, we'll get this banner. Yes, we got a figure here carrying a banner on a banner. I might redo that later, but for now we'll just let it be. These scrolls. More of this ivory than most Space Marines typically get here. Okay. Okay. It's got that. I think I'm gonna need to just go ahead and let's see, one more, which I've said 4 or 5 times already. Golden Skin 09092. Tiny duck, because there's only one place it goes. One very tiny place. That's right here. Okay. Now, going to let that dry before moving on to gold and possibly other colors. Alright. That's a little loud on my speakers. I don't want to split your skulls with weird reverb. Antique Gold 09050. So, might end up needing more of that. And I managed, there it is. Nope, that isn't it. I have managed to misplace the brush. There we go. Okay. What a way to start, misplacing my brush. Okay. So, well, I'm seeing several things now I need to repaint, but several touch-ups. And looking at the standard, there's stuff down here I'm going to just go ahead and rework a bit off camera before I shade. Okay. So hitting up a lot of the ornamentation. Of course, the handle to the power sword here. At least that's what the rulebook describes it as. Well, codex, oh boy. It's still a bit early in the morning. Painting one tire is generally not the best idea. And that little crest on the helmet looks like it should be painted. We'll get this skull on the backpack. I'll start on the back side for the standard. Blowing the excess out of that X here, the 10 numeral for the High Gothic Legion 13 Ultramarines. I was going to do that part in gold, but I think I've changed my mind. And there's nothing wrong with changing your mind partway through. Happens all the time. I'll go ahead and change this standard from the ivory to the gold. Then I think it's a little halo, and I think he's supposed to be gripping a bolt gun. It might be that this figure here was intended to be Gilman, but I want to do it as the Emperor. This brush is maybe a little too beat up to keep using for this, but I think I can manage it well enough to make this work. right. Okay, let me think a second. All right. Going to go ahead and take that Ultramarine blue again, the Army Painter War Paints one. Some more good need, and then working down here, this panel's going to be, since it's got a Starfield blue with white stars in it, so I'll take a leather white later and patch that up. Now let's see here, now that I've got a better grip of, okay, I think I got this figured out now. Alright, I'll go ahead and take leather white again now, which is 09062. Let's go ahead and do this on camera to avoid confusion later when I shade and you're wondering what the hell I did. I'm going to get every other panel on this check here with the leather white. And then same thing with this grid here. And here, let's get the stars. This field of blue. Okay. So I need to get this gold in here a little bit better. So, like I said, it's just a huge amount of detail right there. Then I'll take blood red again, or no, deep red 09002. And there's another, looks like purity seal right here. And there, and then okay. Alright, not one more bit of gold I missed, and that's the bottom of the standard here. Okay. I need to take violet red again, 09026. There's a few areas of the cape I wound up missing. Like I said, just an insane amount of detail on this guy. So, it's right here. Or no, I just blew that. That's part of the standard itself. Oh my. Had it right the first time. So we'll just take ultramarine blue and touch that up again. But there is a part of the cape I missed over here. Coming from behind the backpack over the shoulder here and hooking into that iconography. Okay. Breathe. Now I'm done with nuts. Now I'm done with base coats. So once that's dry, I can start shading. Okay. Okay. Ancient Bronze 09049. Time to start the shading. This is going to get kind of funky, I can tell you that right here, just because of how many tiny, tiny, tiny little details there are. So I'm going to use a smaller brush for this one. About twice, 2 parts water to 1 part paint in most cases. I think either my glass that I use as a palette is uneven or my table is, I believe, either one. Okay. Now over here I did the binding on these scrolls in the same oiled leather I used on the book off camera. I just tweaked a few details. Didn't see the point of showing them all on camera. And this ancient has no shortage of tiny little details, as I've already stated multiple times in this video alone. And I guess this guy and the other honor guard models are going to be available soon independently of the other model they were packed with, which is next on my plate. And right now you can, based on the last few videos, you can probably guess who that is, but we'll talk about that when I actually get to him. Now this is where all these details get tricky. I want to make sure I get some shading inside the capital of the flag here, but I also want to make certain I don't, for lack of a better word, overdo it and end up clogging some of these blank spaces up, which, so right now I'm using my brush to kind of absorb some of the excess, or I'm trying to anyway. And when I say work top to bottom, highest area to lowest, this perfectly illustrates why. Because this gold will flow into other areas to a certain extent anyway, regardless of whether I want it to or not. So the best counter is to start high and let there, so that the lower areas end up, I am trying to use too many words to say something simple. Let's try again. The purpose of going high to low, when you're going high to low, your highest colors will flow into lower areas, whether you want them to or not, but your lowest colors will not hit your highest areas. So for example, this gold that's getting into the blue, that will be covered up when I hit the blue. And this is 57 Flavors of Tricky right here with the halo around the head and the armor and the wings and all that good stuff. Let's see here. Not easy to get all these little things, but totally worth it. No question at all. Totally worth it. The extra effort in, but not easy. Okay. Try to absorb the little excess on the bottom of the X there. I'm going to make certain I've got everything. Okay, there's one more color I can do right this minute, and that's Pure Black 09037. And that's just going to go on cabling and exposed parts of the body glove. And with Pure Black, any Pure Black, regardless of brand, you're going to need at least 3 to 4 times the water to paint. You need it much thinner. It's it's too easy to get this too dark and completely cover up any details you're trying to preserve. So I can't stress that enough. As I've said before, a simple way of painting and shading is just to wash the whole miniature with pure black, and I've had quite a few models I've repainted since that had many details obscured by too much black paint. Turns out much better, I feel, when I use a customized shade for each color. Okay. That's good. I will soak up that little excess gold out of the helmet there. That should come out when I shade the white. Okay. Let that dry. Go on later. Okay. 09109 Ruddy leather. Not too terribly much of this. Being careful to go around the edges. Okay, and that's it for the leather. And then Golden Shadow 09091. This is going to be one of the trickiest ones here. Just a tiny little dot right in that tiny little face right there. So I think I can go ahead and do the white as well. So that's going to be 09061 leather, or linen white, excuse me. It's coming together nicely. Helmet. Oh, the stars. Here, there was something I was forgetting. Then the steel. Blackened steel 09205. Not too much of this. This tiny line here. The Ultramarine symbol on the shoulder on the banner. And the blade of the power sword. It just needs a little blotting. One more, the cape. That's going to be Burgundy wine 09025. which is jammed up. Jammed up quite badly today. Oh, geez, this is going to be irritating. All right, let's just get it fixed. There we go. That's got it. Okay, it's going to leave the ivory, the red, and the blue, and the gray, I think. Yeah. It's going to have to dry for a bit before I move on. Do one color at a time now, so red brick 09001. Not too terribly much of this. Purity seal, purity seal, purity seal, purity seal. That leather looking loincloth there. Make sure I don't have too much. These checks here. And unfortunately, that's all I can do right this second. Okay, stained ivory 09142. Oh, just about there. 2 colors left to shade. Not that brush. Okay, trying to make sure I'm in camera still. Took me forever to get used to the awkward camera angle I was stuck with my old rig. So it's probably going to take about as long to get used to the new rig I've got. But this new way of doing things is definitely less awkward for me. So carefully getting the pages in this codex. Probably the Codex Astartes, I would imagine. And given the way the Imperium runs, I'd say there's an equal chance of this being an ornament that looks like a skull or being an actual skull. So... okay. Oh, that's all I can do right now. So back in a bit. Okay. Pure white 09039. Go ahead and okay. Let me turn that speaker down. I'm gonna get reverb. Still getting the hang of this. So I'm using this to prep the lighting effect on the power sword. The eyes on the helmet don't need it on this one. They're already bright enough to work with. So that'll be a little different. And then Ultramarine Shadow 09187. Which is about shot, it seems like, but I'm pretty sure I've got a spare on hand somewhere. Now this is going to get a little tricky for me. I have no idea how this got warped so much, but it is what it is. So fortunately, this will just kind of flow where I need it for the most part, but I have to be cautious around many of the finer details. Okay, this area is going to be particularly nerve-wracking. But I can do this. Oh, that wasn't so bad, but I'm not done yet. Okay, that's the most nerve-wracking part of this. Careful get around the helmet here. Okay. I think I'll go ahead and do the back of the banner last. Fill in the backpack. Dots there and there. Avoiding the inside of the elbow there. This will go faster now. Alright, that's good. A little dot right there. Okay. Once that's dried, just the stone and the lighting effects, and then I can start to highlight in detail. Alright, working top to bottom now. Ruby red 09101. And since this is a lighting effect, it's going to get thinned out more than typical. Some of the blue still isn't quite dry, but it's dry enough to, in the air. I'm getting tongue-tied. The areas I need to get at are dry enough. So I just get that. The eyes. And then sparkling blue 09104. And this is going to be for the power sword. Tiny dot. Yeah, that's fine. Again, thinning out more than typical. Along the blade to absorb a bit of that excess there. We want a tint, not a complete shade there. And Stormy Gray 09088. And this is going on the rock he's standing on. And once that's dry completely, I can highlight and detail. Alright, time to start highlighting. Think Ultramarine Highlight 09189. Well, I need to... There's a good one. Alright, so... Go ahead and start with the backpack. So just dry brushing, lightly dusting until it looks like there's no paint left on the... You're gonna get your paint on your brush and brush it off on a paper towel until it looks like there's nothing left. And then just lightly dust the model. It's been a funky day. I'm not feeling quite right, so I'm kind of rattled right now, but I do want to get this done and uploaded, so... Not worried about every tiny nook and cranny, just the most readily visible details. Now here's where it gets tricky. Go against the grain on these folds here. models I've done are about to have a new lease on life, as they will be available on their own soon, outside of this set I bought. So there's that coming. And this is such a nice big space back here. I am tempted to put some kind of graffiti. Maybe Lehman Russ was here or something from a non-Ultramarines Primark. But that's all I need of the blue. Clean and dry the brush. Taking Golden Highlight 09093 and the tiniest highlight appropriate brush I have, which is going to be a challenge to find. Let's see here. Suppose this one. Getting the tiny little face right there. And then and do Blood Red 09003. Am I? Yeah, probably this one next. It's much easier having a camera I can put on an actual tripod. My old one I couldn't. That caused issues. Mostly in the form of me having to hold everything in a really, really, really awkward angle. Okay. And Ghost White 09063. And had a little too much water in it still. A little pure paint to touch up on the white there. Give that a chance to dry and work on the cape with Pale Violet Red 09027. I'll switch brushes for this one. like mixing up the cape colors on these characters. The captains, the ancients, etc. Feel much more generic if everybody had the same exact white coloration of their capes. Now, Creamy Ivory 09144. And where is it? True Silver 09207. Barely going to touch that symbol there. Then prep it a second time and gives Power Sword. Definitely like the way it turned out on this surface better than the other one. Trying to make it look like the power weapons actually have energy coursing through them. I think I need to get these stars in the bottom corner here, so I'll take that ghost white again and just quick dusting there. Okay, where am I at? Well, there's one more bit of a silver I forgot to do, so just on that banner there, for it's worth. Okay, so now, aside from changing out brushes again, Burnt Orange 09111. Which is plugged up. Where is that paper clip? And it's still fighting me. There we go. I just need a little. This is Codex here. Banner there. Or no, that case. I forgot to do the pages, so we'll just take the pure ivory and do that real quick. It's good enough. And Misty Gray 09090. I just need a little bit to do the stone he's standing on, all triumphantly. And that'll be a reasonably close match to the basic material I'll be putting on here in a bit. And then 09089 Cloudy Gray. A couple of support hoses to deal with. One there. His elbow. That hose there and there. And then there with his grenades. And switching brushes one more time. Jeez, I've got a big tangle off camera here. And new gold 09051. Crest. Skull on his backpack. The laurel on his shoulder. That honor mark. Might have to touch up that gauntlet. I got a bit of gold on that. But maybe I'll keep it. I don't know. A little more paint. Okay. Now I just need to let that dry completely before I start doing some other stuff to it with the details. So back in a little bit, without causing that horrible skull-splitting reverb. Pure black 09037. Oh man. kind of works. It's always tricky to write that tiny with a paintbrush. Trying to put Emperor and Terra there, but there's little squiggles and dots on the areas. To simulate text. Using a very, very fine tip brush for this. Okay. Gotta catch my breath for a minute. It's always nerve-wracking when I try to write that small. Then I'm going to take a flathead brush using the same black and just carefully go around the edge of the base. Need to get some talus on here, rock debris, but this needs to dry first. But just about there. Okay, that's looking really good. So back in a little bit. Okay, basing. Generous helping a white clue. And an equally generous helping of water. Mix it all up with a brush that you're gonna sacrifice. Get it consistent. Got it on my hand. And then just paint around the feet of the model in question. And this raised area here is masking tape. I used it to cover up the excess of the slot in the base. So dip it in your basic material, whatever that's going to be. And then using a separate brush that's dry, just push it away from areas you don't want it on. That's pretty good. Almost done. One more step that needs to be taken once that has had a chance to dry and set a little bit. Out. Take a spray or brush on adhesive. Fill up an eyedropper. And carefully drop it around the basing material. This will seal it and keep it on the base and not in your box or wherever you happen to keep it. Like I said at the start, it's not very well balanced physically. And that's it. Chapter Ancient. And I'm gonna get this camera line to focus. Okay. Chapter Ancient. And continuing Warhammer 40,000 next time. Till then, I'm Ian Stokey with Mastermind Games, signing out.